Hey there, you're looking kind of cute. Don't forget to subscribe and check out all my other socials. Enjoy. He stood in front of the tall gates and fixed the jacket he had borrowed. He worried that his old orphan clothes might reveal the truth. The person in the mansion had agreed to meet him, and he had to take this chance for his future. But as he got closer, the large and fancy estate made him hesitate. The paths and bushes twisted across a wide yard, and the only sound was the soft noise of a fountain. When the door opened, a woman with bright red hair and green eyes appeared. She looked like she belonged to the estate. Her green dress looked like the emeralds he had only heard about in stories. "Young Miles, I presume?" Her voice hinted at the promise of sunlight. "Victoria is my name. We've been expecting you." He shifted the worn duffel bag on his shoulder. "Yes, ma'am. Thank you for, none of that formality." She stepped aside and gestured him in. "Your family now." The foyer stretched 3 stories high, with a crystal chandelier casting rainbows across marble floors. He'd never seen anything like it. His sneakers squeaked against the polished surface as he followed her deeper into the house. "Girls," Victoria called up the sweeping staircase. "Come meet your new sibling." Footsteps thundered overhead. 3 young women appeared at the top of the stairs, each dressed in pastels that made them look like they'd stepped from a fashion magazine. They descended in a flutter of fabric, the eldest in a mint green wrap dress, the middle in soft peach, and the youngest in baby blue. "This is Sophia." Victoria indicated the eldest, who looked about 25. Her honey blonde hair cascaded over her shoulders as she extended a manicured hand. "Welcome home?" Sophia's grip was firm, her smile genuine. "I'm Diana." The middle sister wore her dark hair in loose waves. She appeared to be around his age. "Love your eyes. Such a pretty shade of blue." The youngest bounced on her toes. "I'm Chloe. I'm 20, so you'll be the baby now." Her strawberry blonde curls bobbed with her movement. "It's nice to meet you all." His voice came out rougher than intended. Years of group home living hadn't prepared him for this level of warmth. Victoria clapped her hands together. "Now then, let me explain how things work here." She walked toward a side room, and he followed, still clutching his bag. The sitting room was all cream and gold, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking gardens that seemed to stretch forever. Victoria moved to an antique wardrobe and opened it, revealing rows of clothing in every color imaginable. The Henderson family has certain traditions. She pulled out a pink sundress with tiny white flowers embroidered along the hem. "Everyone who lives under this roof follows the same rules." He stared at the dress. "I don't understand." "In this house, we celebrate femininity." She held up a pair of white sandals with delicate straps. "It's been our way for generations. My husband follows it, our daughters follow it, and now you will too." The room seemed to tilt. "You want me to wear that?" "Not want, dear. Require." Her tone remained gentle but firm. "This is your home now, but our home has rules. If you wish to stay, you'll embrace them." He thought of the orphanage, the cold beds, the empty futures, the constant reminder that nobody wanted him. Here stood a family offering him everything, asking only this in return. His throat felt tight. "I've never—" "Of course you haven't." Sophia appeared in the doorway, her sisters flanking her. "That's why we're here to help." Diana stepped forward. "The first time is always strange, but you'll see it becomes natural." "Like breathing," Chloe grinned. "Plus, you'll look adorable. I can already tell." Victoria pressed the dress into his hands. The fabric felt soft, expensive. "The bathroom is through there. Take your time." He found himself in a bathroom larger than his entire orphanage room. Gold fixtures gleamed against white marble. The mirror reflected his confused face, stubbled jaw, short brown hair, wide eyes that had seen too much yet apparently not enough. The dress slipped over his head easily. It fell to mid-thigh, the pink fabric foreign against his skin. The sandals took longer. He fumbled with the straps until they finally cooperated. When he looked in the mirror again, he barely recognized himself. A knock came at the door. "May we come in?" Victoria's voice. "I guess." They entered like a parade, each carrying something. Victoria had a makeup bag, Sophia held a jewelry box, Diana carried hair accessories, and Chloe bounced in with bottles of nail polish. "Oh, you're lovely," Victoria cupped his face, "but we need to soften these edges." They worked with practiced efficiency. Victoria applied foundation with gentle strokes, explaining each step. Sophia added blush and eyeshadow in rose tones. Diana glossed his lips while Chloe painted his nails a soft pink that matched the dress. "What about his hair?" Chloe frowned at his shortcut. "We'll start with this." Sophia produced a wig from seemingly nowhere, long auburn waves that caught the light like spun copper. She settled it carefully on his head, adjusting until it looked natural. "There." Victoria stepped back. "Look." He turned to the mirror and froze. A young woman stared back, delicate features enhanced by subtle makeup, pink lips parted in surprise, auburn hair framing a face he knew but didn't recognize. "You need a name." Diana tilted her head. "Miles doesn't fit anymore." "Amara." The word came from his lips without thought. I've always liked that name." "Amara Henderson." Victoria tested it. "Perfect." "Come on!" Chloe grabbed his hand. Her hand now. "Let's show you your room." They led her upstairs, past portraits of Henderson women through the decades. Her room was at the end of the hall, walls painted soft lavender, a four-poster bed with white lace curtains, a vanity covered in perfume bottles. "We prepared it hoping you'd accept our ways." Sophia opened the closet to reveal dozens of dresses in every style and color. "Your wardrobe. This is too much." Amara's voice came out higher, softer. "Nonsense." Victoria smoothed the pink sundress. "You're our daughter now. Daughters deserve the world." Dinner that evening was surreal. She sat at a long table in the lavender nightgown the sisters had given her, eating off china that probably cost more than a year at the orphanage. Mr. Henderson, she discovered, was away on business. He traveled often, leaving the women to run the household. "Tell us about yourself." Diana passed the salad. "What do you like to do?" "I read a lot." Amara fidgeted with her napkin. At the home, books were an escape. "We have a library?" Sophia smiled. 2 stories, thousands of books. "And a music room," Chloe added. "Do you play anything?" "No, but I always wanted to learn piano." "I'll teach you," Chloe clapped. "We'll start tomorrow." After dinner, they gathered in the living room. Victoria had Amara practice walking in heels, while her sisters offered advice and encouragement. They painted each other's nails, braided hair, shared stories that made her laugh until her sides hurt. "Time for bed," Victoria announced near midnight. "Tomorrow we'll work on your voice." Amara climbed the stairs in her nightgown, feet bare against thick carpet. Her room felt like a sanctuary, soft and feminine and hers. She slipped between silk sheets and stared at the ceiling, processing the day's transformation. A knock interrupted her thoughts. "Come in." The sisters entered in their own nightgowns, Sophia in cream, Diana in coral, Chloe in mint. "Pajama party!" Chloe announced, jumping onto the bed. They arranged themselves around her, and suddenly Amara was surrounded by warmth and acceptance she'd never known. "Were you scared?" she asked quietly. "When you first started dressing this way?" The sisters exchanged glances. "We were born into it," Sophia explained. "But we've seen others join the family. The fear always fades." "Dad struggled at first," Diana admitted. "But now he wouldn't have it any other way. Says the clothes are more comfortable. Plus he looks fantastic in blue." Chloe giggled. "Wait until you meet him. He gives the best makeup tips." They talked until dawn approached, sharing secrets and dreams. When they finally left, Amara felt less alone than she had in 22 years. The next weeks passed in a blur of lessons. Victoria taught her to modulate her voice, keeping it in a higher register that felt increasingly natural. Sophia instructed her in fashion, which colors complemented her complexion, how to accessorize, the difference between casual and formal wear. Diana focused on movement, graceful gestures, proper posture, the art of sitting with legs crossed at the ankle. Chloe made everything fun, turning makeup application into games and heel walking into dance parties. Amara's favorite dress became a yellow sundress with white daisies. She wore it the day Victoria took her shopping for the first time, navigating boutiques with growing confidence. The saleswomen complimented her choices, never questioning the woman she'd become. "You're a natural," Victoria said over lunch at an upscale cafe. Amara wore the yellow dress with white wedges, a pearl necklace completing the look. "I knew you would be." "Why?" Amara stirred her iced tea. "Why did you choose me?" Victoria's expression softened. "We didn't want just anyone. We wanted someone who needed us as much as we needed them. When I read your file, bright, kind, lost, I knew you belonged with us. But the clothes, the rules, create unity," Victoria finished. "My grandmother started the tradition. She believed that when everyone in a household presents the same way, it eliminates barriers. We become truly equal. And it works? Look at you." Victoria gestured at her reflection in the window. "Do you feel like an outsider?" Amara studied herself, auburn waves falling past her shoulders, pink lips curved in thought, yellow dress bright against tanned skin from afternoons in the garden. "No, I feel like I belong." "Because you do." That evening, Mr. Henderson finally returned. Amara heard his voice from her room and ventured downstairs, nervous to meet the man of the house. She wore a purple sheath dress Sophia had selected, claiming it brought out her eyes. He stood in the foyer, tall and distinguished in a navy dress that fell to his knees. His silver hair was styled in a short, feminine cut, and subtle makeup enhanced his features. When he smiled, she saw where the girls got their warmth. "You must be Amara." His voice was deeper than hers, but carefully modulated. "The girls have told me so much about you." "All good, I hope?" "All wonderful." He embraced her like she'd always been there. "Welcome to the family." Dinner that night felt complete. The 6 of them shared stories of his trip, the girls updating him on Amara's progress. He offered tips on finding comfortable heels for long days, recommended his favorite lipstick brands, praised her color choices. "You've taken to this beautifully." He raised his wine glass. "To Amara, our newest daughter." They toasted, crystal ringing in the chandelier light. Amara felt tears threaten her carefully applied mascara. Chloe noticed and squeezed her hand under the table. Months passed in domestic bliss. Amara learned piano from Chloe, tended the garden with Diana, studied literature with Sophia. Victoria taught her to cook in heels and pearls, creating elaborate meals while discussing philosophy and art. Her hair grew steadily. The auburn wig was retired as her natural color lengthened, helped by vitamins and careful care. By 6 months, it reached her shoulders. By a year, it fell in waves down her back, the same rich auburn she'd first worn, but now entirely her own. The legal name change happened on a Tuesday. Victoria and the girls accompanied her to the courthouse, all in coordinating shades of blue. The judge barely looked up as he approved the petition. Amara Henderson became official with a stamp and signature. "How do you feel?" Sophia asked as they celebrated with champagne on the courthouse steps. "Free?" Amara touched her driver's license with her new name. "Like I'm finally who I was meant to be." The Henderson family hosted elaborate parties where everyone dressed to the nines. Amara learned to navigate social situations in flowing gowns, making small talk with business associates who never questioned her place in the family. She became known for her grace, her kindness, her ability to make anyone feel welcome. "You've bloomed," Victoria observed one evening. They sat in the garden, Amara in a green maxi dress that pooled around her feet. "I barely remember the scared young man who knocked on our door." "He feels like someone else," Amara admitted. "Like a character from a book I once read." "Good. That means you've found yourself. Or you found me." "We found each other," Victoria corrected. "That's how family works." Amara's second year with the Hendersons brought new challenges. She enrolled in online college courses, studying literature with Sophia as her tutor. Her essays earned praise from professors who knew her only as the intelligent young woman with insightful perspectives. Dating seemed impossible to navigate until Diana introduced her to respectful men who appreciated her for who she was. Some relationships lasted weeks, others months, but each taught her more about herself. She learned to value partners who saw her strength, not just her beauty. Never settle, Diana advised after one breakup. They sat in Amara's room, sharing ice cream and tears. You deserve someone who loves all of you. What if that person doesn't exist? They do. Diana hugged her close. And they'll be worth the wait. Chloe started bringing friends home, other young women who needed guidance or just acceptance. Amara found herself in the mentor role, teaching makeup techniques and offering advice on finding your true self. The Henderson home became a haven for those seeking belonging. You're good at this, Chloe observed after one particularly successful makeover session. Maybe you should consider it professionally. Maybe. Amara styled her friend's hair with practiced ease. But I like keeping it personal, more meaningful that way. Mr. Henderson's business expanded, requiring more travel. During his absences, the women managed everything from finances to home repairs, all while maintaining their feminine presentation. Amara learned to change tires in a dress, negotiate contracts in heels, and command respect in any room she entered. Power isn't about how you look, Victoria explained during one business dinner. It's about knowing yourself completely. Amara understood. The clothes that once felt foreign now felt like armor. The makeup that once seemed like a mask now enhanced her natural confidence. Every aspect of her presentation was a choice, her choice, and that made it powerful. 3 years in, the youngest sister came to her room one night. Chloe was 23 now, no longer the bouncing girl who'd welcomed her home, but a poised woman in her own right. I'm getting married, she announced, showing off a stunning ring. Amara squealed, examining the diamond. Tell me everything. They talked until sunrise about wedding plans. Chloe wanted her sisters as bridesmaids, all in different shades of pink to complement her ivory gown. Amara would wear rose, a color that had become her signature. The wedding planning consumed months. Fittings, flowers, venues, every detail required attention. Amara threw herself into the preparations, grateful for the distraction from her own complicated feelings about romance. You'll find someone, Sophia assured her during one fitting. Look how far you've come. Amara studied her reflection. The rose bridesmaid dress hugged curves that hormones and exercise had refined. Her auburn hair was pinned in an elegant updo, pearl earrings catching the light. She looked beautiful, felt beautiful, but sometimes wondered if that was enough. I'm not unhappy. She adjusted the dress's hem. I have all of you. And you always will. Diana joined them at the mirror. But don't close yourself off to more. The wedding day dawned perfect. Amara helped Chloe into her gown, careful not to smudge either of their makeup. The ceremony took place in the Henderson Gardens, transformed with thousands of white roses and twinkling lights. Standing at the altar in her rose dress, Amara watched Chloe marry the man who loved her completely. Joy and envy warred in her chest. She wanted that. Someone who saw past the surface to the person she'd fought to become. During the reception, she danced with cousins and family friends, her dress swirling around her legs. The photographer captured her laughing, champagne glass raised, surrounded by the family who'd given her everything. May I cut in? A voice interrupted her dance with Mr. Henderson. She turned to find a man about her age, wearing a well-tailored suit. His green eyes held warmth and something else, recognition of a kindred spirit. This is my nephew, David. Mr. Henderson made the introduction. He's been abroad, but couldn't miss Chloe's wedding. David took her hand with practiced grace. They moved together easily, finding rhythm without words. He led with confidence, but not dominance, matching her steps perfectly. You must be Amara. His voice was soft. Uncle's told me about you. Good things? The best things. He spun her gently. He said you've become irreplaceable. They danced through 3 songs before the bride demanded her sister's attention. David released her with obvious reluctance, pressing a business card into her palm. I'd like to see you again, he said simply, if you're interested. She tucked the card into her clutch, pulse racing. Maybe. The reception continued late into the night. Amara kicked off her heels to dance barefoot in the grass with her sisters. their dresses grass-stained and perfect. Victoria joined them, laughing as they formed a circle under the stars. "My girls," she pulled them close. "My beautiful girls." Later, alone in her room, Amara examined David's card. Simple, elegant, like him. She set it on her vanity between perfume bottles and makeup brushes, symbols of who she'd become. The mirror reflected a woman at peace. The auburn hair that framed her face was her own, grown long through patience and care. The rose dress marked her as a Henderson daughter, a title earned through more than blood. Every detail of her appearance was chosen, crafted, beloved. She thought of Miles sometimes, the scared orphan who'd knocked on this door. He'd wanted family, belonging, love. In losing him, she'd found all three. The transformation went deeper than clothes or names. It reached her soul, revealing who she'd always been beneath the fear. A knock interrupted her musings. "Come in?" Victoria entered in her cream nightgown, looking tired but happy. "Quite a day." "The best day." Amara began removing jewelry. Chloe looked radiant. "You all did." Victoria sat on the bed. "I'm proud of you. The way you've embraced everything. Not just the clothes or the rules, but the spirit of what we do." She touched Amara's auburn hair. "You've become yourself. With help. That's what family does." Victoria smiled. "We help each other become." They sat in comfortable silence while Amara changed into her own nightgown, lavender silk that felt like coming home. 4 years ago, she couldn't have imagined this life. Now she couldn't imagine any other. "David seemed nice?" Victoria observed casually. "Subtle," Amara laughed. "Very subtle. I'm just saying he's been asking about you for months, ever since he saw that photo from last Christmas. The one where I wore the red dress? You looked stunning." Victoria stood to leave. "But more importantly, you looked happy. That's what caught his attention." Alone again, Amara considered the business card. Tomorrow she might call, might take another step toward the complete life she was building. Tonight she was content to be exactly where she was. Amara Henderson, beloved daughter, cherished sister, woman of her own making. She climbed into bed, silk sheets cool against her skin. Through the window, she could see the garden where she'd learned to tend roses and sundresses and pearls. The piano sat silent downstairs, waiting for tomorrow's lesson. Her sisters slept in rooms nearby, their presence a constant comfort. The orphan was gone, transformed into something beautiful and true. In his place stood Amara, not perfect, but perfectly herself. The pink sundress that started it all hung in her closet between the yellow daisy print and the purple sheath, each a marker of her journey. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new joys, new opportunities to grow. But tonight, she was simply grateful. The Hendersons had offered her more than a home or clothes or a new name. They'd offered her the chance to bloom, and she'd taken it with both manicured hands. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my other socials if you want more content, early access, behind the scenes, and more. All links down below.